You haven't been watching because you've been sleeping. That's the best excuse I can give you this morning. We're hanging out with a fresh team here at 5FM Studios, and it's been awesome. We've got to meet the team. We've got to see them. In fact, I've seen a couple of the tweets from some of your listeners and some of our viewers saying, listen, that's it. They're showing their bosses the fact that we were all together.
I'm told we need to do this more often.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
It's good fun. It's good fun. Except I see how laid back you guys are and how stringent television is, because it's like time.
Yes, TV is too precise for me, and that's why I don't miss live TV.
I don't blame you.
Your thoughts on Advocate Thuli Madonsela?
I love the Advocate, and she knows that. I've told her on.
Oh, do you like wait at her gate and you wave as she comes home?
Not that bad.
Not at that level.
Not that bad. Not that bad. But we had this most amazing evening recently. I don't know if she's on the line yet.
Yes.
I know we
have her live on the radio.
Oh, we do. Oh, that's so nice, Advocate. Yay. We had a beautiful conversation at the University of Johannesburg, and it was a really frank conversation, and she was just so open and honest about everything, and I loved it. Loved it. So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Please welcome to 5FM and SABC to Advocate Thuli Madonsela. Thank you for joining us, Advocate.
Good morning, DJ Fresh. Good morning, Leanne. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but thank you for the opportunity, and good morning to the listeners.
Now, we were so excited you were joining us. We found out what you loved. We were told you love green tea, you love grapes. We have grapes here for you. We had a muscle-bound man who was going to feed you grapes during the interview. So a bit disappointed.
Oh.
I'm really sorry about that, but thank you for your kindness.
Don't worry, Advocate. The big muscle man is feeding me grapes. They're lying. They're lying. There's no man here with grapes. Don't worry. You're fine.
He left.
Did he leave? Advocate, you're fine. You sit on your bed in your slippers. It's much more comfortable there.
Advocate, where were you born and raised? I mean, a lot of us know what you do now. A lot of it ends up in the news, sometimes for the wrong reasons. But tell us about the little girl, Thuli Madonsela.
I was born in Johannesburg and raised between Soweto and Swaziland, because from the early age of about 6, I was sent to study in Swaziland, but kept coming back home for holidays.
And did you understand why you were sent to Swaziland to study?
Yes, my parents thought that the education, which was Bantu education then, was not good for us. My mother had studied in the old system. You will know that before Bantu education was introduced, there was a better system, and she had gone only up to standard 6.
Yeah.
Yet she could converse very well and could write excellently.
What are your memories of growing up studying in Swaziland as a little girl?
Well, my biggest memories are my life in Soweto, even though I studied in Swaziland, because school holidays, we were at home.
Yes.
But let me talk about Swaziland. It was a life laid back, and the control of the villages was by traditional authorities.
Oh, yes.
I studied at a Christian school, Seventh-day Adventist school, and there was a mixture of academics and religion. And then later I moved to a Methodist school. Again, there was a mixture of religion and academics. I moved to another Christian school, again, Evelyn Daring High School, which was a private school then. Again, the instruction mixed religion with academics.
Now, have you carried that into what you do now? Do you pray? Did you pray this morning when you woke up? Do you pray before you give a report?
I do. I pray first thing in the morning, and I try to meditate as well, because that focuses my mind.
Yeah.
I also do pray before I give a report. I pray throughout the report that I may be compassionate, and that the facts and legal framework should be as clear as possible, and that the decision that I have to make should be wise.
Do you ever pray selfishly, like, this is about me now, what I want, what I wish for?
I do. Certainly not in respect of reports, because
Yes.
those are not about me.
Exactly.
They're just about life and my role in trying to make it better. But I do pray, yes. I do have my personal goals, my goals as a parent, my goals as a human, and yes, I do pray for those.
All right.
All right, Advocate, I've got you as well. I'm listening to everything you're saying, and I think most of South Africa is listening to what you're saying at this point in time. And I mean, you know, when we look at you and we look at the professional side of you, but there is such a personal side to you, and an individual that wakes up every morning and you have a mandate to fulfill. And I think one of the questions that I did ask you at that particular panel we did, what drives you? Even though sometimes you come under such criticism, and it gets very daunting and very difficult for you at stages.
And very personal.
Very personal. What drives you? How do you keep going? Do you ever say, I can't do this anymore?
No, not at all. I think it's many things that drive me, Leanne. The first thing is gratitude. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful that I've been given these opportunities. Just to be public protector is something that I never dreamt about as a little girl or even as a young woman. But here am I placed in a position where I can make a difference every day in people's lives and witness the practical implications of my decisions. I am also a spiritual person, and I believe that I'm in this world for a purpose, and my joy can only come from me doing the best I can in pursuit of that purpose. And also, I can only have joy in my life if I'm on the right track regarding my purpose.
That's amazing.
I'm also driven by the people we help, the smiles on their faces when we unlock their jobs, their money, their homes, and things like that. And then I have a wonderful team that honestly, with or without me, that team can excel. And trust me when I say that. They are brilliant and they are dedicated. And then lastly, the people of South Africa, and not least, the reaction to our modest efforts has been amazing.
I'm going to interrupt you, Fresh, because you spoke about Thuli as a little girl, and I
Yes.
know that you, Fresh, mentioned at Swaziland School and all of this. And Advocate, you wrote a letter to yourself as a little girl. Did you ever read that, Fresh?
No.
Please Google it, okay? I think it was for Destiny magazine, Advocate, that you wrote a letter as yourself, as the public protector, but you wrote a letter to yourself as a young Thuli.
Yeah, it was an old magazine. I think.
Yeah, it was a very old magazine, and
Yeah.
about who you are now, but who you were then, and that you never in your life believed that you would become who you are, but to just tell yourself to hang in there. I mean, I know that 5FM have got some of the most incredible young listeners. There's some amazing Morning Live listeners that are here as well. It's Women's Month. What are some of those inspirational words that you told yourself, that you said to young Thuli, don't give up, because things may look difficult, but believe me, when you look into the future and you push forward, the light is bright, sister, because it really is, Advocate. I mean, let's talk about that.
Oh, thank you, Leanne. Yes, I wrote that piece, never being aware that it would reach so many people, but I'm glad it has reached so many people, although I must say it makes me feel very exposed, because those were raw thoughts of how I felt and how I feel now. But basically, I spoke to my feelings of inadequacy then, and whilst I was really writing to my younger self, I was consciously writing to young girls who are around the same age or up to the early 20s, who feel inadequate, who feel they're not beautiful enough, who feel they really are not going to amount to much, simply because life is judged in terms of those things, about how beautiful you are. And I was writing to those young girls to hang on, though, to the things the parents tell them about the value of education and about how good they are at what they do, because we tend to only listen to messages that tell us about our weakest link, as how the Quran says. And we don't remember those messages that tell us that we're great in the things that I think we were meant to be great at, because those are the things that are meant to be our destiny. And I was really telling the little girl not to worry too much, to understand that she's beautiful and that she is fit for purpose. And when the time is right, she will fulfill that purpose.
It's 24 minutes after 7. We're hanging out with Advocate Thuli Madonsela. I think to our SABC2 viewers,
we're going to take a break.
we're going to be saying, a break.
And it's so sad because I know that you're loving this, and we're going to get you some sports news now. Valen is going to bring you some sports news, but I think we're going to continue this conversation with the Advocate on 5.
Indeed.
Valen, over to you.
Got an email from Kashri. What do you have on your bucket list?